Susie. I was Susie Kid when people knew me.
I.E.
Yeah. Sue Shipe is what I go by now.
Sue Shipe.
Susie Shipe, people call me here.
Spell your last name?
S-H-I-P-E. But I was known as Susie Kid.
Okay. I can put Susie Kid Shipe.
Yeah.
Work? Okay. Let's see, I've done some things down here. What's your mom and dad's name?
Hallie and Leland, L-E-L-A-N-D, Hallie and Leland Conrad. His middle initial was F. Mother's middle initial was N.
And they started this in
1926.
1926.
I was 3 years old.
Huh.
And we've 82 years we've been here on that side of the street and or this side of the street. The 82 years would be up either in October. My sister and I were a little different, and one of us said it was the 6th, and the other one said it was the 11th of October, so somewhere in the early part of October.
And were your parents natives of Gilmer County?
Yes, both of them were natives of Gilmer County.
And then the hotel started in 29, did you say, the first rooms?
Well, we rented rooms in 29. We rented them not much overnight as for school students, $5 a week.
Jeez.
There were 9 rooms that we could rent that way to, at $5 a week.
And mainly to students?
Mainly to students.
Okay. And in the 34, you added rooms?
We had added 20 rooms in.
Okay. It's got to be a little bit of a bittersweet day for you today, isn't it?
Oh yes, I'm happy. The children, you know, they have better ways of living now than we had, and they're interested in our having the restaurant, the hotel, motel, as long as we wanted it. And then they were reading for us from the day we said we're ready to go until today. And now this is the end of this for both of us. Susie and I both. We're no longer. Well, I'm not now in the real estate business. I guess you still own some property, don't you?
Here, no, not here.
No, but I mean someplace.
Oh yeah.
I see. I don't even own a stick of ground anywhere.
Is the college going to keep it at least for a while as a hotel?
Oh, well, they're going to use it for that. They'll use it for whatever they have to. Now, if something comes up they need it for students, then they'll put students in it. Okay, if they're having spatial programs that they're working with these people in criminal justice, as they've had some here, officers from the county government and the police part of it have been here all week long several times. And they'll have them here in rooms and then have their classes. Ultimately, I would assume they'll have it down where the old shoe factory is. Ultimately, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I know that they're doing something with the shoe factory.
Yeah.
The manager, what's her name?
Thelma Norman.
Thelma. Somebody told me it's the only job she's ever had.
No, that's not quite true.
No?
She worked for us as a waitress in the 70s, and once in a while, when after I left, Dad'd say, "Thelma, we're going to be gone this week. You have to look after the place." But she came back in the early 90s, about 93, I think, but I'm not sure. And she's been here in the motel ever since. And Susie and I have largely turned it over to her. Now, she comes there. Most days she'll ask me some question yet. I think it's just to keep me interested more than any other reason.
Is the staff going to stay?
As far as I know, they are staying on. I can't speak for Pete, but I'm sure they are.
I'll ask him when I talk to him later.
I know he wants her, and he'd like to have them all.
Ever have anybody really famous stay with you?
Eleanor Roosevelt. Now, she didn't stay overnight. Lowell Thomas was here overnight.
Is there any pictures of that, Uncle John?
I don't have any. I wouldn't have wasted film on politicians.
It can be good for business.
Any idea what year it was when Eleanor Roosevelt?
36 or 7.
Smart as a tack. And who else did you tell me?
Lowell Thomas.
Lowell Thomas.
He was here, I don't know, probably, they had a program at the college at one time called a Lyceum program. Now, don't ask me how to spell it. And they would bring in these notoriety people. And it cost you, I don't know, maybe $100 to get Eleanor here. And she gave me a $1 bill for carrying her suitcase up the steps. And she was one of the most gracious, friendly people I've ever met in my life. And she had as much attention to direct to me as she did the president of the college. Now, on our square down here, you see, say up here is where I live.
Okay.
On this side. All right, now, on the other side, there's cars that run there, and we got the fence around there, and the motel's there, and over here. And the old hotel building was back on this side of the street, the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. How many rooms are there now?
Now, 42. Now, we don't use them all for motel. We've had that was storage, so we had 2 for storage. And we used one, added one for my house and one for Thelma. So now that's 4, you see. So we were about, we rent 38 now. That's what it boils down to.
What are some of the other big events that go on that the motel has been very busy with?
Well,
obviously, the folk festival.
Folk festival. Homecoming is beginning to grow again. It still has a long way to go. Reunions are on the decline simply because the older people are dying or being unable to travel or whatever. And the younger ones, they just aren't up to fighting the battle. It's a real fight if you don't have children that you're